Welcome back, everyone. NicknLex here. Thank you so much for joining me today to this new episode of Music with Nick. Today, I'm super excited about this marathon we're about to listen to. This is by Great Scott. Thank you so much for sponsoring this video and for also including all the links to the music. What I did is they are on YouTube, but I didn't want to get, any kind of interruptions. They are on the longer side. Some of them are 7 minutes, and I didn't want to get any ads in between, so I looked them up, and there are luckily all on Spotify. So the quality is also going to be great. So we got that. Thank you so much, anyways, for including, the links. But here is the information. So as you know, this is a marathon titled Larry Fast, or aka Synergy. And so I'm going to read a little bit of information for people that have never heard this. I mean, yes, there are people that have, that are younger, and, so I guess they deserve an introduction. I've never heard Larry Fast or Synergy. I don't know if this was an inspiration from the Graybeard Mike Oldfield marathon. Maybe, I don't know. Let me know. But because I guess from what I was reading, I read it, but I wanted to read it for you guys. So it sounds a little bit like they have a little bit of stuff in common, just on the musical side, I guess. So it says here, an intro to Larry Fast, aka Synergy. Peter Gabriel, of course, who went solo after leaving Genesis. What is lesser known is that when he started his keyboardist and synthist, I didn't know that word, for about a decade, beginning in 1976, was a gentleman by the name of Larry Fast. This was early in the days of synthesizers, analog, mostly single note at a time, 2 notes at a time was astounding. And sequencers were just starting out. For some reason, it's super funny, but I've been messing with sequencers for the last week. And so I even pulled off the by, Dark Side of the Moon. I'll show you guys. I'll make a video. You had to multi-track to build layers of electronic sound. So the whole multi-track and multi-layered, like the, tubular bells that I just listened to, which blew my mind, honestly. But it says here, Larry got his start when he was introduced to Rick Wakeman of Yes and flew out to the UK in 1973 to help with Tales from Topographic Oceans and got a recording contract with Passport Records. From that, Synergy was born, and electronic music has never been the same. He worked and sometimes toured with many artists, including Peter Gabriel, Nectar, and Tony Levin. Below is a sample of his solo work recorded as Synergy from his first 4 albums during the time working with Peter Gabriel. One of the taglines from the first few albums was, "And nobody played guitar." So there you go. So it says here, so we're going to do 5 tunes. We're going to do Synergy, give me a second, the song from Electronic Realizations for Rock Orchestra. And this was in 1975. Then Cybersports, Sequencer from 1976. Phobos and Demos, Go to Mars from Chords, 1978. Delta 1 from Games, 1979. And we're going to do Revolt at L-5 from Audion, 1981. So I'm just, I'm in for the ride here. I'm sure I'm gonna love this. I'm a huge fan of Giorgio Moroder as well, who kind of also, was at the time. He started also with synthesizers, and I don't know, and I'm just myself getting into the whole synthesizer thing. Like, I have this amazing software that emulates over 100 real synthesizers on my keyboard. So there's all these very, very old looking keyboards, and what they can just do an amazing stuff. Like, and then you can mix them, and I can like play the theme from Blade Runner, because there's the Blade Runner, you know, the Vangelis synthesizer, and you can, I mean, I can't really play it, but I can try and attempt something that sounds very similar, and stuff like that. And just with sequencers, you know, arpeggiators and stuff, there's so much stuff that you can come up with. Like, I literally spent 4 hours the other night, just like, I didn't even know 4 hours had passed, just, you know, just trying out different sounds, and just with like the same chord, you know, and it was just amazing. So let's go with Larry Fast and Synergy. Synergy is the first track. Here we go. I hope you enjoy. Thank you so much, Great Scott, for putting this together. I appreciate it. And for those of you who don't like long intros, I'm sorry, but that's the channel. I love you guys. Here we go. Arpeggio galore. Wow. Okay. I love this. Like, this is like the stuff that a lot of people, I don't know, from my generation, they don't understand this. Or like, for example, I remember in high school when I was listening to, like, when we discovered, you know, metal, you know, because everything was like, or new metal, which is horrible, or it was just like the grunge, you know, was just kind of like over. And I remember we got all into like Metallica and stuff, and Iron Maiden and Judas Priest, which is very 80s and 70s and stuff, and Metallica maybe more 80s. And then I kind of drifted off into my own little world with like bands, you know, like Yngwie Malmsteen and Symphony X and Dream Theater, and people were just like not accepting that at all. So they were like, "Oh, you like all this crazy stuff," and I'm like, "This is like amazing," you know. But it's because also I was always attracted to this kind of music, like synth, like Kraftwerk. I'm a huge fan of Kraftwerk, and also like just video game music, 80s music. Like I was always fascinated like by theme music, like Airwolf or Knight Rider or stuff like that. And and it was just like this techno, like this technological stuff, you know. It's not techno music, but it was synth, you know, synthesizer music. And I don't know, I've always had like a soft spot for that. I don't know, maybe it's because it sounds very classical, you know. And yeah, but that a lot of my friends did not accept keyboards and metal, you know. And I was like, why not? You know, it sounds amazing. And now it turns out that all these 70s bands have keyboards in them and play solos. And but yeah, I'm just like, I'm digging this completely. Also like bands like Tangerine Dream, you know, Giorgio Moroder is a great example, you know, that I mentioned before. I really like this, you know. It's really good. And it's, yeah, it's bizarre. You maybe some people don't like it. It has not a lot of listeners. This is very, very good. I've listened to like this, what's his name, Jarre. I don't know. It's something under the water, like oh, stuff like dun 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Like, I don't know what that is called, but that's the kind of stuff that I was just like find randomly, and I was like fascinated by it. So it's yeah. So I guess, you know, we're in that realm right now. I love it. It's really good. Let's continue. And just like I just like do this here on the keyboard, you know, I just go on the deepest note that I have, and I jump like boom, and I just put like this vibe on. It's like one chord or one note, and it plays like an entire chord, and I'm just like messing around with the keyboard, and it usually sounds very dark, you know. Very cool. Oh, let's keep going like this, and then yeah, I can't play like this. Okay, so it just stopped, you know, like very abruptly, unfortunately. I guess it must be some kind of concept record, but well, okay, That was amazing. Really, really cool. This one, the next one is Cybersports, from the album Sequencer. So, but yeah, very cool notes, you know, very cool melodies. Like, oh man, it's like I know how people might not understand this at all, and even though it's from their time and it came out when they were, you know, in their teens or stuff like that, and maybe they didn't get it, you know, you have to have an open mind with this music. And maybe if you're a rocker or something, maybe you hate this, you know, but I can just find something worth, you know, in every sort of, like, every style of music. I mean, we just went to a jazz festival, you know, on Saturday, and it was so good. And then we were listening to like rap, like Mexican rap, and I was like, this is very good, you know? Like, I can definitely see myself like learning something. Like, everything has something to teach you, any style. And yes, I used to be like I used to be like the strict, I was like, no, this music, I hate this music, no. And now it's just like everything is welcome. I guess you just change with age. So Cybersports is next. I can't wait. Let's go. That's so crazy. Like if you've ever played a like an RPG, video game on a Super Nintendo, or I think a Nintendo or older, then this is like, because I'm on Wikipedia, and it says at least 2 tracks from the album Audion were used as the basis for music in Commodore's 64's computer games. I remember my brother had a Commodore 64 and an Amiga, because he collected like very old computers, and those were like, I guess like Atari graphics. I don't know, pretty much. And I've always been a fan of very retro like emulation, and I have emulated some Commodore 64 and Amiga, Commodore Amiga, and it's just fascinating to see how graphics have got. I mean, if you put on a video game, you wouldn't even, sometimes you don't even know the difference if it's a real life or if it's a movie, but the way they were in the early 80s was just like a sprite moving, but the music was like this. It was like, synthesizer music, and you couldn't really do like what we can today to put an orchestra in a game, which is crazy. Today we can do all that, this is really interesting. I'm loving it. Okay, this one here, the next one, Phobos and Demos Go to Mars. This is a longer one from Chords, but not chords as in chords, but it's chords as in like a chord. It's from 1978. So here we go. That is crazy. This sounds like a lot like Rick Wakeman, the stuff that I've heard, like, I know it's not a bass guitar, he's playing it, but these ascending scales like this, it's just really good. Look, a lot of people, I don't know, might not get this, but I love the fact that that I like this, because I could be totally turned off. I would be like, oh God, what is this, but I really get it, I really like it. And I kind of try to separate my brain and listening to the actual, to everything that's happening. I mean, I think the only thing I'm not paying attention to is the percussion, but at least the melody and the harmony, and just the chords, how crazy they sound, I'm sure a lot of people, didn't understand this when it came out, but it's really genius. It's really good. It's amazing. I'm sure it must have been like mind-boggling for, people discovering this music, like making it out of their, constructing some kind of synthesizer. And then I'm like, you're playing this note and like, okay, I can now take this note and put it anywhere on any scale, on any note, like, for example, that, that, and then just played wherever I want on the keyboard. That must have been insane. And I can just now my drumming is actually like music, like as in notes, not just like drum patterns. That's crazy, man. I'm sure it must have been so much fun to come up with this stuff because it has never been done before, I mean, just listen to this. Yeah. To put this all together on tape is insane. Wow. That was just bizarre as hell. I love it, you know. It's so good. You know, like just like out there, you know. I don't know, you know, maybe I also, that's why I like Alan Holdsworth's music so much, because it's so freaking bizarre. But that's why I like it. You know, it's just not normal. It's like, you know, the chords he plays, the melodies he plays, you know, the solos he comes up with are just nobody else. It's just unique, you know. And if I can hear that somewhere else, you know, I'm just like, I'm down. You know, I just like really like, I like everything, you know. I obviously like very, very normal, classical, you know, very like almost predictable. Like when you listen to classical music, you can almost predict the next, you know, bar, because it's within it, the rules are so established, you know, that you can almost say, yeah, they have to play this next, because at that time in this, you know, classical music, you can't just like play something, you have to play this, you know. And that's why with composers that were a little bit more crazy, you know, like Mozart and stuff, they would criticize them, because it's like, why do you play so many notes? Like, that's such a cool scene in the movie when they say, yeah, it was too much spice, you know. Too much spice. And then he's like, how would I say it? Well, too many notes. And then Mozart was like, what? Are you insane? Like, it's exactly how it should be, you know? Which notes are you talking of? And then he's like, well, it's just, you know, cut a few. And then it's so funny. Cut a few. Like, you tell that to a composer, just cut out like some notes and make it shorter, or just like play longer. Like, I don't know what he meant, but it's just hilarious, you know. So but yeah, I obviously love, you know, just very, very normal music, very simple music, but I also like very bizarre stuff. And I think, I don't know, you know, I wish that everyone had that kind of like interest, you know, because a lot of people, they don't they don't listen to music they don't know, you know. And sometimes I'm sure they're missing out on just something that might cause them a lot of happiness, but they're just like, well, you know, I don't know this band, I'm not gonna, I don't care for them, you know, because I don't know them, you know. That's yeah. All right, so next one is Delta One. I love all these names, you know, they're very futuristic. And yeah, let's keep going with Delta One. All right, I'm back. I did have to take a little quick break, but we're back, and like I said, Delta One, here we go. the rhythm was so, it reminded me of another, you know, electronic song. Let's see. I had them on. I put them on. I don't know why I put them on when I came back like this. It reminded me of Trans Europe Express. And there were some really interesting like sound effects in this one, like from arcades, like I think just older, you know, older sounding arcades, like Arkanoid, I think, what was that called, where there were missiles and you kind of like had like a joystick but it was a ball. Invaders, it was not Invaders, Defender, I think. Yeah, I think I heard some Defender in there. We're gonna do one more, and it's just like, I can't believe that this man doesn't get more listens, you know, on Spotify. Maybe he's doing better on YouTube. But I wanted to like just read what other people think really quickly. Let's pause here. There's no comments. I can't believe it. How long has this video has been up for 5 months only. Well, it's okay. It doesn't matter. But yeah, definitely very, very cool. One more. We're gonna do a shorter one called Revolt at L-5. And I can't believe that this was 1979. I can't believe when you watch The Empire Strikes Back, Star Wars, that was shot in 1979. I mean, because it's still like the most epic Star Wars movie. I think that one, and maybe, you know, Rogue One, it has also like that very dark feeling. But I just have a soft spot for Empire Strikes Back because it is not as campy, and it's a little bit, you know, like it's a dark movie, you know, and I just can't believe that was shot in the 70s. It doesn't look like a 70s film at all. It looks like a mid 80s movie, you know, or even like newer, you know. It's like when I look at the Star Wars that they're releasing nowadays, it's so bad. It's unfortunate it has lost its charm completely, and they're just milking it now, you know. It's very sad. I've always been a Star Wars fan, but now it's like I get no. Since Disney took over, the first movie was kind of good, you know, the what was it called, the one that came out in 2015, but then I don't know. Okay, I don't know why I'm talking about Star Wars, but I'm just fascinated. The movies that came out in the 70s, like Alien, you know, they look so modern. They look so timeless, you know, wonderful. Okay, Revolt at L-5. I guess that also reminded me of Alien, you know, LV. Okay, here we go. Sounds like guitar. Sounds like. It's very trippy. I love it. Bam, 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 bam. Almost sounds like this. Obviously sounded like distortion. It sounded more guitar like, but that's also what I was just reading in Wikipedia that he did, you know, start to, like it says here, synergies. Wait. Guitar synthesizers. On the where it says finally guitar sort of, which references the use of Russ Ham guitar synthesizers. Man, I wish I could. I think I should make a video just for fun, you know, just like some weird okay, I got like a copyright claim. Always, but it's just like I always like to read them because I don't want to get a strike. I should make a little video of me just recording some bizarre like stuff, and I do want to do that on the run sequencer. I think I'm gonna make a short, you know, because it's just, you know, a sequence, and I think 1 minute is enough, you know. But this was awesome. Thank you so much, Great Scott. This was totally different. I enjoyed it very, very much. Yeah, let me know what you guys think, you know, in the comment section. Like, were you into this music? Are you still into this music? Do you play this kind of music yourself? Do you, like, whenever you experiment with a synthesizer or your keyboard or your recording studio? I'm sure a lot of people have them. Are you ever, you know, like just, you know, composing crazy stuff, you know? Let me know. And what did you think? This was very, very cool, very different. And I also want to thank Great Scott for like putting a note there, you know, like, hey, you know, if it's too much, you know, just like you can stop, you know. And that is very, very thoughtful. I really appreciate that, you know, that I don't know, that's very, very kind, you know, even though I can pull through, you know, but just to include that, I think that's very thoughtful. Thank you. I appreciate that so much. And yeah, so again, let me know what you think. Did you like this? And if you didn't like it, you know, tell us why, or, you know, you can just be honest. Like, I love, just be kind, you know. I love like a comment section that's nice and respectful, please, if you can, you know. And that's not too much to ask, you know. Thank you so much. Thank you, Great Scott, for sponsoring this amazing piece of music, these 5 pieces. and I had a blast. Honestly, it's very different, but it's very enjoyable. Thank you so much, and thanks everyone for watching. I'll see you all in the next one.